is right now on the verge of doing something absolutely bone-chilling. With its first higher high of this entire 7-month sideways range of absolute misery and pain in the books, are the bulls about to squeak out not only just another new higher high, but something even higher than that? So if you understand, it's not about how much you can get pumped on, it's about how much you can get dumped on and keep on dumping on in. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Get signed up to FEMEX below if you want to buy Bitcoin or altcoins. And without any further ado, let's completely and absolutely jump into, quite honestly, potentially the most important Bitcoin breakout since the beginning of mankind, potentially even since the invention of fire, the wheel, and Cocoa Puffs, all that kind of stuff. This is absolutely insane. So we take a deep dive and we look at the chart for Bitcoin. As you can see, this is the very first higher high that we've put on this chart, going all the way back to the beginning of this range at the beginning of March of this year. Okay, this isn't a small deal. Okay, I'm sure there's people maybe looking at this video or watching other videos or on Twitter typing things saying, this isn't that big of a deal. What if I told you it's quite literally the biggest deal? Okay, because it's quite literally the biggest deal. That's the thing. Like, it's not a small deal. It's even bigger than you could ever imagine. And I want to explain why. So, as I said, March, April, May, June, July, August, every single one of those months had a lower high after the initial high put in, the all-time high put in March. This is our very first time we have squeaked out a new high, a new higher high. So it's gigantic. And that does not mean we're immediately going to, just start moonshotting. In fact, backtests happen so often with these kind of patterns anyway. But as you can see, in this descending channel, basically, it's a descending channel. This is only the third time that we have gone above this channel. And the other two times, back in July and back in May, we got extremely strong rejections once we failed to hold the top here as support. So this is a gigantic moment. I absolutely think at some point we will be getting a backtest of this channel, meaning that the price will go down at some point. Maybe even in the short term. I'm talking maybe the next couple of days or sooner. And I'm saying that's not a bad thing. I'm saying that's normal. The big thing that has to happen though is that when we get that backtest, it has to hold that retest. It has to hold it, which it has never done so far. Of this, how long is this at this point? Like 7-month long channel. It has failed every time to hold this. So right now we're in the middle of a move up. Maybe this move takes us. We already have gotten new higher highs. So that really, to be honest, is the most important thing. That actually is changing the structure of this for the first time. But honestly, we do want to see. I would like to see even more upside before some sort of backtest. But again, there's not even a guarantee we have to get one. I'm just saying that's normal and healthy. What is bad is if we get a backtest and we do not hold the top of this trend and then we fall back down. That would not be good. We're not doing that right now, but I'm saying that's a scenario that, you can't only talk about good things. That's also a bad thing. Or you can't only talk about good scenarios. You have to talk about both bad and good. But on the daily chart as well, the 200-day moving average, as I said 2 days ago when I made the video, we're still slowly trying to get above it. It's huge ever since falling below it back in July. But even more important, the 21-week, again, we're trying to push and get a weekly close above this. We got one back in July, and as you can see, it quickly turned into a mega giga dumpisode where it went from about 69, nice, to 57, and then the next week all the way down to 50, but then provided a absolute giga bounce, potentially one of the biggest bounces we've ever seen. Look at this candle. Very big. This is also what many people are considering, the head right here of this inverse head and shoulder. And you can see the head and shoulder better on probably this chart, I think would be the better one, right? Everyone's been talking about it, something like this. And this is the neckline basically, and a massive bustulation would take us to infinity and beyond ×2. Now, also, we just got a bullish cross to the 21-day moving average, moving back above the 50-day moving average right here. So that's pretty important. We're already, we're getting above the 200-day, but we're getting this bullish cross here. This is by far the big chalupa right here. The RSI obviously has been breaking out, But look at the MACD now. This is the most bullish the MACD has looked since 2020. Well, it maybe late 2023, or I would even argue it looks about as bullish as 2020 or 2021. The mega wind up before the giga pump, basically. The MACD is getting there. RSI, again, obviously looks really good. On the weekly chart as well, we have held the 50 week, which was so important. We did a few weeks ago. Now we're getting back above the 21 week, guys. All of this price action is very constructive, very healthy looking. It's going exactly the way that I think makes the most sense. And it's kind of the main talking points I've had in these videos for the past few weeks. Now that Bitcoin's actually doing something, I can finally actually try to post semi-daily videos because it's actually doing something. I don't know how anyone can post videos every day or could post videos during this when nothing was happening. I don't understand. But here we are. We're actually in a place now where it makes sense to actually start looking at these daily moves because we're on the verge of doing the biggest things that you look for at the beginning of these massive bull runs. The US dollar is, it's still on a downtrend. It doesn't look necessarily strong. I don't see any reason why the US dollar would start pumping at any moment. I think it's going to continue to head down as we continue the current Fed policy of basically quantitative easing more so. And that historically would help push the price of Bitcoin up if the DXY went down. Stock market as well today was actually not looking great. It was actually red a little bit, but Bitcoin was honestly doing decent. It's barely down. It's still right at like its all-time highs. It's just not putting in another new high apparently so far today. But yeah, also the entire cryptocurrency market cap is doing something interesting, touching almost on its 200-day moving average. So, and also receiving a bullish cross with the 21 going above the 50 there. So that's quite large. At the end of June or beginning of July, we actually had the 21 and 50-day moving averages go below the 200-day, which is kind of like a bearish signal, right? Not a very bullish thing, but we're getting to the point where that can start reversing big time. So overall, weekly looks really good. This is another picture of the daily chart for Bitcoin with this bullish cross right here. Honestly, doesn't look too bad. Looks pretty good. But more importantly, this is the daily chart. More importantly, the weekly chart is what's more important. And it's very clear to me on the weekly chart that this chart is showing us that we're shifting into a gigantic pump. Now, weekly charts obviously take more time to play out than a daily chart, but this is just very important what's happening, and it looks very good. So absolutely, if Bitcoin, I want to see Bitcoin hold, as I said, hold above 65, and if we get a back test, depending on when it happens, because every day that goes by, this line gets lower and lower. So depending on when it happens, a healthy back test is healthy. Exactly that, it's healthy. So it'll be good to see if we get one. Really though, it is possible we have a nice pump over the next couple days and shatter these previous lower highs at about 69, nice, or 70,000 US dollars, and overall just continue to build positive price structure. Giant bull flag, is that what we're looking at? Giant bull flag? Are we looking at a absolutely gigantic cup and handle? Very likely, in my opinion. Very likely. And I think it's going to get explosive very quick. And basically, this is the calm before the storm. We haven't seen anything yet, so it's not super exciting. But what's about to come, I think, is as exciting as anything can be. And get signed up with BINGX below if you want to buy Bitcoin or altcoins. And without any further ado,